The next piece we're going to play, kind of the theme for this year for this band has been about flight. If Among the Clouds, that's a piece that's kind of based on flight and going amongst the clouds, going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, which, as you're probably well aware of, there's been a pretty recent space mission to the moon and back, so it kind of represents kind of what we're going for here. The next piece that we're going to play is a piece by Randall Standridge, and it's going to be conducted by the newest staff member that we've had this year, and he's done a fantastic job, Mr. Jonathan Passmore, and he's going to be conducting Afterburn by Randall Standridge. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Passmore. 10,000 steps to be a good band director. Well, if you notice some of the trophies that we have on our stage, like I said, I'm gonna try to be very brief because some of these guys are performing double duty tonight. But if you notice on the stage, we have our UIL success. This band received the unanimous first division ratings from all 6 judges at UIL Concert and Sight Reading Contest, or even the Sweepstakes Award. And also, most recently, the North Texas Festival of Distinction, not only getting straight 1s there, but also earning a top 10 finish among 20 of the best bands in the state of Texas. So congratulations on the job well done. Going to hand out a few end of the year awards. These guys still have one more full band competition to go to on next Wednesday. They'll be playing at the Peak Music Festival at the Eisman Center in Richardson, Texas. And they also have solos that they're working on for their solo and ensemble contest, and they're also working on their tryout music for next year. So it's a never-ending struggle. I won't say struggle. It's a never-ending line of music that we're constantly doing. Like I said, I want to honor a few of these outstanding individuals. And as I've mentioned before, you don't have to have a plaque to know you're doing a great job for us, but it is also nice to be recognized. The first student that I'd like to recognize is in our percussion section. I chose 1 percussion, 1 brass, and 1 woodwind. She's been a fantastic leader in this section, and she's going to do many, many wonderful things for many years to come. Kennedy Jackson. Our outstanding brass, there's a plethora of brass people to choose from, but I can see this student being in San Antonio in February in the Texas All-State Band on trombone, Fernando Munoz. He comes from a long line of Munozes. I think since I've been in Ennis, I think I've taught them all. And I think there's still a few more to come. And then finally, the outstanding woodwind player. Talk about somebody that exemplifies outstanding musicianship in everything you're looking for in a band student, and also has that thing that you just don't teach, and that's that go-gettedness. She's going to be an outstanding musician, a wonderful clarinet player. I can see her being in the All-State Band, Alexandria Roberts. I'll say the acknowledgements for a little bit later, but we thank you to our staff. Thank you to our principals, Mr. Bridgeforth, Mr. McNeil. I know Mr. Bridgeforth's in the audience. It's great to have him here. We are going to close tonight with a very popular march called the Trombone King. I know that some of these guys have some double duty, and we'll get concert band on stage next. Some of these guys are also performing double duty too. So, without further ado, the Trombone King.
Turn on the light up there.
Yours had a little thing now. The color's good in yours. Mine's good, but it's nice to look at.
It needs some replacement. You don't have any extra
Thank you for your patience while we transition. This is the concert band. The first piece you heard on the stage that before you was called Fallbrook March. The next piece we're going to play for you is a piece called Cortland County Festival. Just a little bit about this band. This year, this was the first time that we've ever taken the concert band to UIL concert and sight reading. I've been teaching here 21 years, and like I said, this is the first time we've ever done that. And these kids have really stepped up to the plate and done a fantastic job. They've worked hard. They're doing lots of really, really good things. They sound really, really good. At UIL, on their stage for their very first time, they earned an excellent rating on stage, which is a second division, which is an excellent rating on stage, and that's a very good rating for going for your very, very first time. And they also earned unanimous first division ratings in sight reading, henceforth the plaque and the hardware that they received. So congratulations to them on a job well done. And as I've said before, this is the first time we've ever done the undertaking of taking all three bands to UIL concert and sight reading, and they've done a fantastic job. There's many good musicians in here that are really working hard, but there was one that really kind of stood out kind of amongst the rest, in my opinion. Not that we're trying to slight anybody or anything like that. These guys have worked hard. This was one of the first ones to have finished all of his UIL pass-offs. He also went through all three of his solos that we handed out about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and could play all three of them in the span of about a couple of weeks. So we've given him a little bit more challenging one. The outstanding musician for concert band is Braden Cernan. And as I said before, you don't have to have a plaque to know you've done a great job, but it is also nice to be recognized. We're going to close this portion of our concert with a piece kind of appropriately named called Great Beginnings. Thank you so much, and here is Great Beginnings.
Thank you for your patience with the beginning of this portion of the concert. I wanted to make sure that we cleared some of the stage since this is the last band. We have a lot of empty chairs tonight, so I wanted to make sure everybody could see their children clearly. And then also we wanted to take a little bit of time to warm up because they are the last band that haven't played in about 30 minutes. So I wanted to make sure that they were prepared because this is our final opportunity to get a good recording to send off to National Wind Band. So we wanted to make sure that they were given enough time to really feel good on their horn before we started playing. This year has flown by. I think that there was about once a week I was telling Mr. Bunch, wow, I can't believe it's February. Wow, I can't believe it's March. It's already May. We're about to be out of school. This is by far been the fastest flowing year that I've ever had. And I will say that this has been one of the most fun bands to work with. This is probably this is the most challenging program that this band has played since I have been here, since I have been in charge of this band. And they really took this and ran with it. They've done an excellent job preparing this music. There are some bands that would be very intimidated by this music simply by just some of the skill that it takes to play the things the way that they have to approach these and the amount of work that it takes outside of school for this. Speaking of work outside of school, there are many students in this band that I wish I could recognize, but there are a few individuals that definitely stood out throughout this entire school year. All three of these students that I'm about to mention are respectfully brass, woodwind, and percussion. They were always asking how high the bar was and how high to jump. If something needed to be done, they were there. If there was a rehearsal or performance, they were there. If there's anything that needed, at point in time where there was a schedule conflict, they told me 2 or 3 weeks in advance, or they made sure that everything was set up the way that it needed to be set up. So, without further ado, my brass outstanding musician for this year is Kayla Hanza. Kayla was at every rehearsal that I asked. Anytime something needed to be done, it was either how do I do this or what do I need to do to make sure that I can complete this in time. I've never had once to ask her to do anything. She knew exactly where she needed to be and exactly how to do it. So it was excellent teaching Kayla all year long. And I really do see a bright future for her on the horn. The next student that I have is a student that I didn't really know very well until this year. This student has grown as a player throughout this entire school year, has really taken this advanced playing that I've been asking them to really push themselves with, and has shown up to pretty much everything, very quiet in rehearsal, but always does the job that needs to be done, and has seen me at Target buying Pokemon cards before, so Andrea Ariola. I couldn't hide my secret nerdiness at that point. She found me. And then finally, I'm on to the percussion section. This entire percussion section has had a lot of improvement this year. They've done a lot to make sure that they could play this challenging program. This is probably by far the biggest improvement in the entire band, coming from where we started at the beginning of the year to where we are now. They've done a lot of hard work on a very, very challenging percussion program. I didn't realize as I programmed this piece how involved these parts were until we got to it, and I looked down at the notes and I said, we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and really get to it. This student specifically is a repeat offender in my band, as in he's in the band for the 2nd year in a row. He's been doing an excellent job leading this section and being an example and a model of everything that we need as a percussionist in this band, in the honors band, and going into the high school band. I'm really looking forward to seeing this student be a leader in the high school band as he moves on into the future. This is Isaac Gomez. We are trying to keep this brief, so I'm just going to give you a quick one. The first three pieces that you heard were our UIL program, or was our UIL program. This band did in fact receive unanimous sweepstakes from all 6 judges. One's on stage and one's in sight reading at our UIL concert and sight reading contest, which is a big feat, especially for how challenging this program is. The last couple of weeks, I can tell you, I did not sleep very much, and it wasn't just from how much I have to play the trumpet outside of school. There was a lot of worry going into the last couple of weeks, but they really showed up, they did everything they needed to do, and they made sure that they were right on top of it. This final piece that we have is a piece that we've played a couple of times in this band. I usually pass it out, and we don't typically get all the way through it. I either don't get a chance to play it, or we have to really slow it down, or we have to do some cuts in this one. However, this band, I handed out to them. We did most of this in 4 rehearsals. So this piece we learned in 4 days, about 4 hours total, and they put it together. It is titled Bohemian Rhapsody, which I'm sure many of you know. It is an arrangement of the Queen piece. They really enjoyed playing it, and I really enjoyed listening to them play it, so I hope you also enjoy. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. We really look forward to seeing these students grow these next couple of weeks, especially this next week as they go into their solo and ensemble contest. Please encourage your students to stay in band and encourage your students to practice and hone their skills, because this is the one thing that they choose to get better at. It's not something that we are forcing them to do. It is something that they are showing up every day and making themselves a better person just by being there. So encourage them to continue on with what they are doing. Thank you, and have a good night.